Hey everybody, it's Susie McCrae, and today is On Passive Spotlight. I'd like to say hi to everyone. Welcome. So glad you're here watching with us. I'm here with my good friend and fellow founder, Julie Wen, and we have some special guests today that we are calling on for our Founders Spotlight today. Julie, what's going on?
Hi, Susie. Hello, everyone. Welcome to On Passive Spotlight. Today is August 10th, 2022. Look who we have here, Janet and Buddy. They're always there. And it was the very first time I met them was on the round table. And we're so glad that they're here with us, just giving us the opportunity to spotlight them from the founders. So, Susie, let's get rolling on this Passive Spotlight.
I knew the minute I met Janet and Buddy, I fell in love with them, love at first sight. What I like about them is they are loyal, dedicated founders with a whole lot of integrity, coming on the round table, always providing excellent feedback, excellent information, want to help other people. They're plugged in, they're tuned in, and they are just like the perfect founders. As I always say, we're all perfect. So go ahead, Julie, if you want to have them introduce themselves and we'll get cracking.
Sure. Janet and Buddy, thank you so much for being here with us. Welcome to On Passive Spotlight. I wanted to give the opportunity to please, if you could please say hello to everyone.
Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I'm Janet.
And I'm Buddy. And we've been with On Passive since June 2019. This is one of the things that I don't misunderstand what I'm going to say. I regret because I knew about it a year earlier and I hesitated for a year. So I was very upset when I finally did sign up and I saw what was coming. I said, wow, I should have really signed up a lot earlier. However, we are here now, and this is the important thing, because On Passive has so much to offer. My background basically is that I come out of the consumer electronics area. I was a salesman for a major consumer electronics company for over 22 years. And as I would say, I had all the, I played with all the toys. I saw things coming before they were happening. And this is one of the things that I really enjoy about On Passive is that I don't know everything that's coming, but what I have seen has really been exciting. So my wife has got her passed, which is really exciting as well.
Hey, Janet.
It's funny. The first thing that comes to me is we have two children that are adults, wonderful, wonderful kids. It's fantastic. And of course, before that, and when we were young, we always were in the helping, being busy, little of everything, and advisor to kids. And I became a teacher and in sales, and I worked with Howard Johnson's in the corporate office, and I love that. I wish it continued, but the British took over, and that was it. But I think there's still a few around. There are. Yeah, they're bought out by one of the hotels. And I love On Passive that we can work together since we're both semi-retired. Of course, we're network marketing, and everything now is On Passive. I mean, it's just going forward. Everybody we can talk to, we can get in, and of course, we tried just working with people that wanted to help people, and those are the people that will make it go on more and more. And what else? He's more of an ad-libber than I am. I mean, sometimes I'll talk and talk, but you know.
No, that's wonderful. And, you know, it's so interesting because Julie and I, prior to doing On Passive Spotlight, we talked about, you know, there's a lot of people that are familiar faces, or you may know their background. And I just find it so interesting to learn about people. And I think I now remember, Buddy, you telling me that about your background, which is very, very interesting. everything. And what I love about that is you're a curious person.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
And, I know I've had discussions with Ash about that, being a curious person, wanting to learn more. Those are all great attributes. And part of the reason Julie and I are doing this is so other founders can see other faces and kind of resonate with other people around there that, we're all very different. We all have different personalities. We all have different strengths and weaknesses. And we have a CEO and a non-passive family that welcomes everyone into the fold and appreciates those differences. Maybe instead of us all being cookie cutter and the same, how boring that would be. And you guys, I loved meeting you. I know we're going to talk about that, meeting you in person. And I was saying, watching the two of them interact, Julie, they're like Burns and Allen. And I couldn't believe it. I may be dating myself saying I'm too old, but that was
we are too.
George Burns and Gracie Allen. They were husband and wife, and they had a little comedy routine and a show they did. And just watching them interact, it was full of love, full of fun, full of respect. And they were a little sassy with each other, but it was all in good fun.
Right. And you know what, Susie, I'm so glad that you say it. It leads me to the second question. I know that you both are doing On Passive together, are listening to webinars together. Have you ever sit down and say, let's discuss this when Ash said, let's decode our CEO? Have you do that a lot?
A lot. Probably all the time.
We try to read between the lines.
Yeah.
We have been very active with Cindy Hopkins because when Scott Nelson passed away, Cindy really picked up his torch for the people that he had shared the business with. So we've been very active. And on one of Cindy's calls a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about Ash and, some of the things he says. And I coined the phrase Ashism.
Yeah.
Ashism, because you really have to dig into what he's saying. I sort of, through my life, have tried to study people and understand them. And sometimes it's difficult. Ash is one way very understanding. You can understand him very quickly. But then when you dig a little bit deeper, you find out even more. And I still haven't dug far enough down to find out because I still don't know what's going on. There's a lot coming, and I see what's happening with On Passive as its products, and that's exciting. But then again, you look and you say, what else does this man have in his head? And Janet and I, we discuss this often. What is coming? And I don't know. But I like that phrase, Ashism.
Yeah, that's an excellent phrase. And you know what? Sometimes I think we all love listening, and then we listen again. And I love when he says something and then he adds in like 2 or 3 other words, like he's going to go somewhere else with it, but then he doesn't.
Yeah.
And you can kind of read between the lines on those kind of things. Yeah, Buddy and Janet, I think of like turning him upside down and shaking him and everything falling out of his brain so we can see it. But I mean, how much fun is that? How much fun is that to be around someone like that and to have exposure to him, especially when he does the webinars with us, to really share, his transparency with us. So that's good to hear. Yeah, that you guys do that.
Yeah, the
Go
funny
into education and everything comes up. Everything's education. And I love when he mentions the kids and what they're doing and what's coming up and what Academy has for the future. It's just unbelievable. It is. It's mind-boggling.
wow.
Could have done with it years ago. Wow. I mean, I taught girls typing in shorthand. What can you do now? I mean, I don't know. Teach like in a computer class. I substituted, and I couldn't teach them computer because I didn't know much. However, I taught them to type, so they did better. you walk around and I'm saying, oh, you don't go with one finger, you do it, whatever. But I don't know what I could do with Academy. I'll have to think about it.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm going to poke a little fun at you because I live in Massachusetts and Buddy and Janet live closer, just right outside of Boston in Quincy, Mass. And if you didn't pick up her accent, she said,
Accent?
she said shorthand, which is
Oh.
short.
Sure.
I didn't say shorthand. Shorthand.
You said
Oh,
shorthand. Shorthand. And I understood fully. Other people are like, what the heck is Janet talking about? Now, I have a little bit of an accent, but I was picking up the shorthand. But that's interesting. Maybe you could teach shorthand on Academy.
Oh,
I thought about that. So I'm taking notes. Yeah, I'm taking notes and practicing on the web with the webinars to see how much I remember. I remember a lot, but then I have to read it back, of course. And
Yeah.
You don't forget.
Okay, so I really love watching both of you and I really love our conversation. So I'm really taking myself back to when both of you, Janet and Buddy, meet Susie McCray. So actually it's gonna be a question for Susie too. How is it like for you, Susie? First, I'm gonna ask you first, Susie, for you to meet Janet and Buddy, and how is it for Janet and Buddy, how was it the first time you meet Susie McCray? So let's go to Susie first.
Well, I was so excited that they were going to be able to make it, okay, to the luncheon. And immediately I saw them come right in right away. I think I ran over and we did a lot of hugging. And it's a feeling that it overcomes you because we've had them on the round table, developed a relationship. We've emailed each other back and forth. It's always been there's such a bright spot, in the messages and the emails and just having such a sense of gratitude. But then to be able to hug somebody and turn that online relationship into a real one where you can really see each other, it just really warmed my heart. They were great. They go with the flow. They're adaptable, flexible, and they had the F word, F-U-N, fun, and Worcester. And I was just overwhelmed with gratitude to meet people that I really like and see them in person, Julie. It was great.
Now, what about you and meeting Susie?
I loved it because when like you said, Susie, you see someone, of course, we probably saw you more than you've seen us because you've been on all the webinars and everywhere. And we watched your 3.5 minute, your 3.5 minute hula hoop display, which is phenomenal. And I've got to kind of put it on separate, or I don't know how to do it, Buddy will do it. So that, because I have mine, and I did bring it to Worcester, and I did it a little bit, not much, but I went around a couple of times, not like you. But I'll get there. I used to do it when I was a kid. And hey, you can always come back. You're never too old for anything, right? And as far as hugging you and meeting you, it's the same thing. It's just when you see someone that you haven't met, but you feel like you've known them all your life. And then you see them in person and hug them. It's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. And you're fantastic. I love seeing you and Julie and just... It's a wonderful feeling to be able to see people and other people that you haven't seen. I mean, you've seen them just on a screen, like an actor on television.
I know, we all felt like celebrities.
That's right. And then seeing them in person, it's great. It really is. And we really appreciate all you've done and you're doing. And we hope to continue whatever we can.
So our reaction originally was, our conversation before we walked into the room was that we're not going to hug anybody.
Oh yeah,
It's COVID, and it's still, especially in the Worcester. Worcester. It's actually called Worcester, but we call it Worcester. that area has had an upkick in COVID. So we said, okay, no hugging. That lasted about -3 seconds. As soon as we walked into the room, we saw Susie. We hugged Susie right away. We also felt the warmth of that room.
Absolutely.
Not only, it was everyone, people that we didn't know, people that we haven't seen in years. I mean, Ricardo and Alzinda Tavares, we've known them for over 23 years. We were in another business with them, and I was very fortunate to send Ricardo a video at the beginning when I first started sending out different videos to people, and Ricardo and Alzinda jumped right on it. So it was just like, wow, it was a homecoming.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really a homecoming. It was like even people that we didn't know, and I mean, we knew a lot. There was part of our group was there, but there were people that we didn't know. We met Ramola from Florida, who I went back and forth a couple of times on Facebook. Oops.
And I talked to her on the phone, a few times, and it was like,
but it was like we walked over to each other, and without even thinking, it was automatic hug. It was a hug. It
we're
was
all hugging.
It was like anyone that's listening to this or watching this, if you have the opportunity to get to one of these functions, as Nike would say, just do it.
Yeah.
Be there. Be part of it. It is so exciting. And it's like, this is a family.
Mhm.
They say blood is family, but
It's extended.
your relationships with people outside of your blood relationship family. And sometimes it's better than the relationship you have with some of the people in your own family.
Yep.
And this is what we had in Worcester.
That is so cool. That is actually really beautiful. In California here this weekend on Sunday, we actually have a luncheon as well. And there are so many new people that say, hey, I want to be there. I just put it on the updates in the back office. And I literally this morning, 7 more people were like, we're booked, but we can make room for you, right? So I know talking to Susie when she started, she's like, oh, we only schedule this many, and then it ended up to be 50, 60s are coming, right?
Oh, yeah. It was at first we were hoping to get 20, and then I had to get a bigger room. It's like we need a bigger boat here.
Yes. And that's what we're doing today, is that we're going to call the restaurant and say, okay, we're going to have more people coming. So it's all great. I wanted to really move on to another topic that I know Susie's preparing for us. So Susie, please take it away.
Okay, so if you're just joining us, this is on Passive Spotlight. We have Buddy and Janet with us. We're spotlighting them as founders. Rewind later and listen to what they have to say. They are a fun couple, F-U-N. So the last spotlight we did, we had my sister Tish on, and we talked about, health and wellness, because as founders, we know we represent the company. We want to put our best foot forward, and we want to try to do things that keep our mind and our body and our soul healthy. So we talked a little bit about maybe setting up some little habits. And one of the things we talked about was a lot of people, stress affects them. Stress, worry, too much to do. And part of that stress can come from not being focused and having too many distractions. Okay. And I was talking a lot about that, the things that I do that maybe resonate with some of you. Maybe some of you have better systems in place that this doesn't happen to you. But I hop around a lot. I have a lot of browsers open. I'm checking email. I've got Messenger. I've got WhatsApp. I've got text messages, phone calls. My watch is buzzing something. I'm out walking. It's like, do you want to record this walk? And I'm talking to somebody. Hang on 1 second. And what ends up happening to our brains is it can be exhausting. So I'm throwing this out here, and we'll see if Buddy and Janet and Julie have any tips they'd like to add too. all of you watching this, kind of take one thing that you're going to work on to relieve your distraction. So what might that be? I was talking about some people turn their phone off and actually put it somewhere else while they sit and they have a meal together, or if they're at a restaurant, or if they're having lunch with a friend. If that's something you can try doing that. So when you're really with someone, you're with someone. You're not doing this. Oh, let me just check that. The other thing is when you are maybe on your computer and you're writing an email, or you're on your phone or something and you're writing an email, do it from start to finish. Start to finish and then send it. Because how many of you have stopped midway, just heard a beep there, it's probably my computer. You stop and you go, ooh, I should go check this. So now you go and you check that message and it distracts you and you go back, and the brain, I think someone said, I don't know, it could be higher amount, 7 minutes or so to get yourself refocused back to doing it. So I think what you're going to find by doing that is that you will rest your brain a little bit, not feel so scattered, and feel more focused. So those are things you can try. Shut off your phone. Don't just silence it. Shut it off and leave it somewhere else and give yourself a break from it, especially when you're interacting with someone. Number 2, when you're writing an email or a message to someone, start it from start to finish and then send it. And the other thing you may want to look at is don't have so many browsers open on your computer or on your phone, because your brain is going back and forth, back and forth. That can make you tired. That can make you stressed out. That can make you not sleep well. And it also can make you maybe make poorer choices when you're looking at something quick to grab to eat because you're so busy, but you feel like you're not getting anything done. And then sometimes we end up eating at the computer or doing things that we normally wouldn't do if we just focus a little more and alleviate distractions. Julie, I don't know if you have anything to add for what you might try to do, because I know we all are guilty of being distracted.
Absolutely. I so agree with you. And I love that you bring these up, because these are the things that I'm trying to do every day, right? Being a mom, you work on something and your kids call or something, you kind of leave it there and you go on. So we have a lot of the unfinished business, the unfinished things that we are doing. So for me right now is counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's like a 5-second rule for me to stay focused, right? If I was to see something, I'm going to count it right there. And I'm not only that, I have a conversation to myself. Stay focused, Julie, because you can command your body to do that. Right? You cannot, because when we're talking about the subconscious and the mind and, all of that, what we learned so far, but right now you can command your body. Julie, stay focused, right? And that's what I do for myself right now is every single day, I say it to myself, I command my body. I said, stay focused. And it immediately sending a signal to my brain and focus on what I'm doing, because every single day when there's a phone call or there's a message coming in, you literally leave what you're doing. You went on and you read the message and, I got to take care of this because that's more emergency, right? So then I said to myself, Julie, stay focused. Most of the time it works because, we have to tell our brain, you know what? That's what you need to do is stay focused. And that word stayed in me, and not only to myself, it's really helped my children as well, because they're doing the same thing. They're doing homework, reading a book, and bling, they turn on their phone and chit chat with their friends, right? Yeah. So I think what we need to do is we can give a command to our body, and trust me, it works. Right, buddy.
Go ahead.
I remember Trish saying that if you're on your phone too much or you're on the computer, you can be tired and wondering, why am I tired? Well, it can make you tired. Yeah. And of course, that's part of it. But as far as the focus, Buddy's been saying that a lot because I didn't focus as well. You're not accomplishing what you intend to accomplish. One thing that I try to focus more, I write things down too. You get it out of your brain and write it down, and then you can check off, prioritize, and then check off, and that works if you're consistent with it, and that's important. So focusing and being consistent really, really helps. And of course, we plug in when the webinars are that we want to watch, or the calls, or like it was Mondays, and even Monday we went on and Michael was on for hours, and it was great. It was really between Michael and Israel, and just trying to understand a few things there. But even during the week. So we'll plug it in, and if we can do it, we do it. When there's maybe an appointment, a doctor's appointment, we try to schedule that appointment. There was no webinar. So that's what's more important. Yeah, on passive is coming first, unless we have more of some of the other things that might be prioritized. And that's it. I mean, there's more, but next.
Buddy.
So, Julie, you stole my thunder, because I have walked around this apartment, I don't know how many times, saying, stay focused, not only to Janet, but to myself. And I even thought about putting signs up all over the house that say, stay focused, because that's one of the things that really messes people up. Like you say, you just start, you're doing something, the phone rings, or you look at your phone, or you switch out, go to the other thing that we don't talk about. It's difficult. And sometimes I like to just stop. We're fortunate we have a balcony that overlooks Boston. And we sometimes will just go out there and just sit there and just do nothing. And sometimes that's the best thing, is to just clear your mind and sit there and try to figure, not even think, just close your eyes and just relax. I have been lately getting a lot of motivational things on my cell phone, and I've been saving them because I want to put them, send them to my email when I figure out how to do that. I know how to do that, but from getting it from my email, I want to put it onto ONET, because I think some of those things are really, really very calming and sending a very powerful message. And, they say that you use about this much of your brain compared to what your brain is really like. And sometimes you just, even though you're only using this much, you really have to let it rest. And I think that's part of it. I think sometimes you just have to stop what you're doing and just say, you know what, let me just relax for the next 10, 15 minutes, and then come back and start over again. And start where you were ended and stay focused.
That was excellent. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right. So we're running out of time right now, but I know Susie prepared something really FUN for us here. So I'm going to send it over back to Susie.
Okay. And remember, you guys, if you're watching this, go down in the comments and say something you're going to try. What Buddy and Janet were talking about, and Julie, all good advice. Basically, what Buddy said is more like meditation. Sometimes just sit, close your eyes, listen to your breath, clear your brain. Our CEO, Ash, wants us to be creative human beings. Don't start reading an email and then say you're going to go back to it. Work on something. Okay, so what we do on Spotlight, we're going to end this with Janet and Buddy. We're going to put you in the hot seat, okay? I have this fun thing I call What Would You Rather Choose? So I'm going to give you one or the other. We're going to do ladies first, okay? You tell us what you would choose and why. Okay, you ready, Janet? You're going to both the same question. Would you rather be able to sleep with your eyes open or be able to speak without moving your lips?
with my eyes open,
or
or
be able to speak without moving your lips.
speaking without moving your lips. Well, that's a hard one. So I suppose, what would I rather
What would you rather and why?
and why? Speak, maybe. Why? Well, maybe I could say important things that can help people. Hey, I get something. Why? Yeah, we don't stop laughing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop laughing. That's right in front of me. So, I mean, maybe that's more important. I don't know.
Well,
No,
you
it's
could,
kind of hard. But
yeah, you got to choose one or the other. I'm not letting you off
Oh,
the
no,
hook.
all right, I'm going to choose that. I don't know why, but
Okay, speak without moving your lips. Okay, how about Buddy? Would you rather be able to sleep with your eyes open or be able to speak without moving your lips?
Well, I could be a ventriloquist, I guess.
There you go.
that's a good one.
I do have a habit of sometimes taking a nap with my glasses on, and Janet says, "Why don't you take off your glasses?" And I say, basically, because if I'm dreaming, I want to see better when I'm dreaming.
Yes, that's a good one.
But I guess I would, yeah, I could sleep with my eyes open.
I knew we'd take
All
it.
right. Well, those are great. My choice is sleep with my eyes open too, because I'm so animated. I can't imagine talking with my hands without this mouth going like this. How about you, Julie? What would you choose?
You know what? For me, it's like I'm thinking about if I lay down still and my eyes are open, it's kind of creepy for me. So I like pretty. I like things that peaceful and pretty. So I put that aside. Otherwise, I actually like speaking without opening my mouth because it's going to be fun. People can have fun. So I'm going to try doing it right now.
You could use your hands though. You're
I can
right.
use my hands too, but anyway, this is what we do here is having so much fun, and we would love for you to put in the comment to see what would you rather be. But we wanted to say thank you, Janet and Buddy, so much for being here with us, and we're having so much fun doing this. And Susie, I love the ending of ours on Passive Spotlight.
Oh, yes.
And I always love it. So, Susie, I know that at the end of our spot on Passive Spotlight, we always ask people to take some action plan today. Would you please recap on the action plan that we suggesting people to do that, please?
Sure. And I thank you, Buddy and Janet, for joining us today. So we talked about was distractions and how distractions can really tire you out, maybe stress you out, maybe get too much unwanted activity of your brain. So you're not really shutting it down and focusing on the things that you want to do. So the action plan we have is find one little thing that you know you chronically do that shifts you from one task to the next without finishing the other. Or is it keeping your phone on during a time when you shouldn't keep it on and always checking it? Are you always checking your email and you read part of it and then you come back to it and then you say, oh, I'll look at that later. So now you've touched it like 3 times and you still haven't comprehended it because you're doing something else. So here's some action tips. Find something. I recommend everyone don't have all your browsers open. Finish one thought and learning or doing one thing. When you write a message or an email, start it from the stop to what you finish and hit send instead of hopping back and forth. And if you're someone who keeps their phone on all the time, no matter if you're with people for a meal or not, try shutting it off, and not just shut it off, put it in the other room. You might go through a little withdrawal, but you might enjoy it and do what Buddy and Janet said. Stay focused, go sit outside, do nothing. Do nothing. Let your brain just do a brain dump and start getting creative. So that's it, Julie. That's the action plan.
I love it. I love it. So we do hope that folks who are listening to this take some of these tips, take the action to do that. Thank you so much, Janet and Buddies. One of you, if you could please say your last words or anything that you want to say, just one of you, please.
We're in it to win it. Let's go.
Oh,
Giddy up.
Yeah.
Julia,
Have a great night.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
So much for being here with us. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on Facebook, on YouTube. Please, if you haven't clicked the channel, please click and subscribe. We're going live to you every single day, many different shows, different live. We love that you're joining us. So thank you for being here. Please enjoy yourself and have a great evening or day. Goodbye, everyone. Take care of yourself. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you.